The moon was full as the night sky was as clear as glass. Unfortunately, for the people of Konoha, a night like this was not a night to enjoy, since the night peaceful silence was instead filled with the noise of chaos that was going all around. Currently now, the Kyuubi was unleashing its fury all on the village, destroying homes and people. For the citizens of Konoha, they know what the Kyuubi was. It was a force of nature, a tremendous force of power, which it can create tsunamis and destroy mountains with one of its 9 tails. Many wonder on how the Kyuubi was attacking their village. But for now, the village's shinobis were fighting with everything they have to stop the beast from destroying their homes and slaughtering their families. As the battle proceeded, the shinobis gained hope as the great leader appeared on top his summoned toad and landed on the Kyuubi. He was the 4th Hokage, Minato Namikaze. As the Kyuubi was about to unleash another devastating blast of chakra, Minato used his famous Hirashi no Jutsu to teleport him and the Kyuubi away from Konoha to a secluded area about 10 miles away. It was then that all the shinobi of Konoha saw a strong and powerful explosion in the distance. With Minato, the Kyuubi blasted a powerful blast of its chakra at the area where Minato transported it to. Near the Kyuubi was Minato along, and next to his side was his wife Kushina. As they saw the destruction caused by the Kyuubi, both Minato and Kushina heard the cries of the greatest treasure that they have. In Minato's arms, he held the person that they love the most, more than each other right now. With them was their newborn son Naruto. Even thought Minato and Kushina were both happy their baby was alright. They both knew that if they don't stop the Kyuubi now, their precious legacy would die here and now. Minato knew what needed to be done, which he was prepared to do. Kushina also knew what needed to be done as well. She went first on the assault on the Kyuubi as Minato created the barrier to contain Kyuubi from escaping. Kushina unleashed her chakra chains on the Kyuubi to immobilize it. As Kushina held it in place, Minato noticed how weak Kushina was getting, since she is now the former Jinchuriki of Kyuubi. So having the Kyuubi being ripped apart from her was leading to her death. She wanted to protect the 2 people that she loved the most by making sure the Kyuubi was gone for now. Minato saw what she was doing and decided to do on what he needed to do, for not only for Konoha, but also for the future. He stopped Kushina before she starts to seal the Kyuubi inside her again. Kushina, don't, as the one who not made me Hokage, but a man and now a father to my son that you gave me, I can't let you die like this. Stated Minato. But, minimum a toe, this is, the only, way, CC can be, sure to, SS save the, both of you, gasped Kushina. Kushina, tearful Minato. Don't cry, after all, today, is, our son's, birthday. The only thing I regret is not to be able to see him grow up, smiled Kushina. Minato was speechless as Kushina continued on, but, thinking about it, all of us being one family, I couldn't be any more happier than that, smiled Kushina. Minato was silent for a moment, until he had a look of determination on his face. Kushina, save your strength, you're going to need that in order to see Naruto again. Stated Minato. Kushina was confused until Minato said, I will seal your remaining chakra inside Naruto with the Hakufuin. Then I will take the Kyuubi down with me with a jutsu that a non-Jinchuriki can use, Shiki Fujin. He stated while gently placing Naruto on the ground. Kushina was afraid of this because, if Minato used the Shiki Fujin, then he would die. But Minato thought back on what happened earlier tonight and told Kushina on what he realized. It was because a masked man attacks Kushina that all this happened. He then thought about what Jiraiya said about the child of prophecy, that he was told, and he believed now that it was his son since he was born in this moment of time as the masked man attacked Kushina to release the Kyuubi. He told Kushina that he would seal the yang half along with Kushina with the Hakufuin, while he takes down the yin half with him in death. Minato started to create the hand sign, but before he could finish it, the Sandaime Hokage appeared behind him and knocked him out just before he finished the hand signing. Kushina was surprised to see the Sandaime here. Flashback. When Gamabunta landed on the Kyuubi, the Sandaime saw Minato getting ready to use his Hirashi no Jutsu to teleport him to another location, where the Kyuubi won't cause any more damage. The Sandaime quickly went to the Kyuubi and touched its back, just in time as Minato teleported him to the area. There, the Sandaime saw Minato putting up the barrier to keep the Kyuubi contained. The Sandaime was ready to help out Minato, when he saw him bring forth Kushina and, from what he guessed, his newborn son. He heard Kushina going to sacrifice herself to save Minato and Naruto, but the Sotobi heard on what Minato said he was going to do, and overheard about the masked person attacking Kushina. Sarutobi heard on what Minato said and couldn't help but agree with the decision. Of course he had other plans since now he knew that Minato needed to live, as well as Kushina so they can truly be with their son. The Sandaime was ready to use a special jutsu that he learned for such equation like this ever came up. Unbeknownst to everyone, the third taught himself a bit of Fuinjutsu in cases of emergency. He decided to use the same jutsu as well on the Kyuubi to spare Minato, as well as use another jutsu that would save Kushina's life since he knew that their child would need them in order to one day be able to fight the masked man. End flashback. The Sandaime appeared and knocked out Minato with a nice chop on the back. Kushina was surprised to see him here. Kushina was about to ask him, but was silenced when the Sandaime said that he would perform the jutsu instead as well as savisi her life. Sarutobi-sama, why you can't? The village needs you, panted Kushina. No, the village needs Minato more since he is young, while Naruto not only needs his father, but needs his mother just as much. I overheard everything on what Minato said, and I have to agree with this decision, but instead I would be the one to do it, stated the old Hokage. Kushina gasped in surprise, but before she can argue with him, the Sandaime spoke. Kushina, I'm old, I have just lost my wife because of the masked man. The only thing I could do now, as my final act is secure the future for not only your son, but for also the next generation, which you and Minato must help lead by raising your child. He stated as he started to perform the seals. The Sandaime unleashed the power of Shiki Fujin on the Kyuubi. He ripped apart half the Kyuubi's soul and sealed within himself. The Sandaime was amazed on how powerful it was since it numbed his body. As the Sandaime sealed the yin half of its soul inside him, Kushina made her way to Minato and got a bit of his blood to perform the summoning jutsu. She was able to summon Gamatoru, the sealing toad, to the battlefield. The Sandaime saw this and thought it was good timing, since he is running out of chakra himself because he started the Hakufuin. The toad was surprised to be summoned like this. The Sandaime explained on what was happening, and gave him the key to the Kyuubi's seal. He accepted and went to Jiraiya to hide and explain the situation to him on what just happened. Once it was done, the Sandaime was ready to seal the rest of Kyuubi into Naruto. With that, the Shinigami, who had both the Sandaime and Kyuubi souls, was ready to devour both of them into his stomach, where they would battle for all time. But before that, the Sandaime used the last of his strength to perform one last jutsu, which he used the last bit of strength to heal Kushina's body from the Kyuubi being extracted from her. Kushina would now live, which was good timing since the Sandaime saw Minato starting to wake up. With this, I can leave both Konoha and the future to this family, since I know that they can shape and lead the next generation to a brighter future when the time comes. Thought the old Hokage as he died. Kushina was saddened that the Sandaime died in front of her eyes, but she was also very grateful to him since he not only saved her life, but her family as well as all of Konoha. She saw Minato starting to stir. As she did, she heard her son sleeping peacefully. She couldn't be any happier to know that she and Minato can be with their son, they can be a family from now on. She quickly struggled herself to get to her young son, so she can bathe him in her warmth and keep him from getting cold. Of course, her feelings of happiness for her family didn't last for long since a strange light appeared around her son. Kushina gasped and tried to move quickly to get to him. But before she can reach him, he disappeared in a flash of white light. As Minato began to rise after the Sandaime knocked him out, he heard his wife starting to cry. She was crying for the disappearance of her baby. Minato quickly went to her and asked Kushina on what happened, which she told him that their baby disappeared in a holy white light. As reinforcements arrive, both Kushina and Minato just looked into the night sky and cried in tears, knowing that their family was incomplete. As the shinobi gather and take the Sandaime back to Konoha, Kushina made a silent prayer for her son being safe. Night. It was a calm night, with the world at peace as everyone slept in Wales, England. In a solitary village, a family of 3 was sleeping peacefully until they heard the cries of a baby coming outside. The mother of the 2 young boys came out with her sons staying inside their house, which their mother told them. When she came out of her small house, she walked for a bit, following the cries of what sounded to her was, indeed, a baby. After walking for a few moments in the open grassy plain area behind her house, she spotted a crying baby on the ground. She quickly ran towards the crying infant to see that it was a baby boy, a newborn from what she can tell. She quickly took her blanket that she used to cover herself to keep herself warm, and covered the infant boy from the cold. Once she got him, she quickly calmed him down while taking him to her home. Once inside, the mother sat in a rocking chair with the baby in her arms. After calming him down, the mother couldn't help but wonder why a person would leave a cute baby boy, but then saw the red aura that was starting to surround him for a bit before dissipating. After seeing the red aura, it was then that she started to believe that this child was more than what he appears to be, even if she doesn't know what it was yet. Before she can try and figure it out more on this baby, her 2 sons, who were awakened from the baby's crying, came up to her to see the child. "Hey Mom, who's the baby?" asked her oldest son with brown hair. "I don't know, sweetheart, but I do know that he is special," answered the mother. "Really? Why's that?" asked her youngest with red spiky fallen hair, in a 2-year-old gibberish way. "Because he is both your new little brother," cheerfully replied the mother. "Our little brother," both boys replied. "Yes, I'm going to adapt him, okay," said the mother. "So, what are we going to ring up our new baby brother?" asked the older brother of the, now, 3 brothers. Right now in his office, the Yondaime was working and reading some documents. As he read them, his mind would sometime wander from his work to his family. He looks at the pictures that were on his desk. As he looked at them, he could help but think on what has happened over the years. 3 days after the Kyuubi attack, the Yondaime announced on how the Kyuubi was defeated by the great Sandaime Hokage by sacrificing his life, in exchange for saving his life. He decided not to announce that the Kyuubi was sealed inside his son since for all he knew, Naruto might be dead by now. As the funeral for the Sandaime and the shinobi, who bravely fought the Kyubi, completely finished, Minato turned to other situations that were around him, like repairing the village. After a few years of working and rebuilding, Konoha was once again back to its original form. During those years, the village was starting to prosper very well, especially on what happened after 5 years of working. The Yondaime couldn't help but look at the picture next to the picture where he and pregnant Kushina was in. Next to it, was Kushina holding onto a baby in her arms. Except this baby was a little red-headed girl. Even though they decided not to have another child because of Naruto, fate decided to give them another chance for Kushina and him to start a family with Erika, his now 7-year-old daughter. Another thing that happens was the Uchiha clan massacre, which happened when he was away on a day vacation. Minato and Kushina decided to take Erika away from Konoha to spend time together at the beach. They decided to stay until the next morning, which he told the council that he would leave his former student Kakashi in charge of all shinobi and village matters until his return. When he came back home, Kakashi immediately informed him about the massacre. Kakashi explained that he saw a lack of security near the Uchiha compound since many has reported that they haven't seen none of the Uchiha clan police officers in the night. When he sent some shinobi to check on the premise, they only found Sasuke alive, while the rest of the clan was murdered. Sasuke explained that it was his older brother Itachi that did them all. Minato was stunned about this development, since he was away when all of this happened. News about the Uchiha clan massacre all but gone, hit Konoha hard along with their enemies who took it in their own stride. When Minato heard of it, he quickly asked Kakashi and some of his most loyal Anbu to investigate it since somewhere in his mind, he thought that something was off. As Minato thought about what has happened, he couldn't help but think about his long-lost son. Even though he declared Naruto dead, in the back of his mind, he thought that he was alive. This was even more so since Kushina was convinced that Naruto wasn't dead, since she can feel it in her heart. Minato thought that it was maternal instinct about it, but he knew never to question a bond between a mother and her child. He even asked his most trusted people to look for him or to find some clue to help bring him back home, Jiraiya, Tsunade, Kakashi, etc. His thoughts were interrupted when he remembered that in a few days, the Genin graduation exam will commence. As he thought about the exam, he couldn't help but think of his own son. He believed that his son should be in this exam like the others in his age group. As he thought about it, someone else was thinking the same thing. Namika's mansion. Currently making lunch for a little girl and her husband that was going to arrive for his meal soon, was Kushina. Kushina Uzumaki Namikaze, the wife of Minato Namikaze, the Yondaime Hokage. She usually spends her time between home and working in the hospital as a nurse, to sometime teaching future kunoichi in the academy. As she cooked, she couldn't help but see her playful daughter Erika running around the backyard. Kushina just watched as Erika played with one of the summoning toads that Minato summoned for her. As Kushina watched, she also kept her guard up since one time when Erika was young, Anuwa Asajan was able to sneak inside Konoha and almosted Erika if Kushina hadn't sensed the person in the last minute. As Kushina looked on, she couldn't help but imagine that the toad was her son, Naruto, playing with Erika instead. She often wishes that Erika would have her older brother to look up to. She remembered all the nights that she would sometimes stay awake until it was the middle of night to early morning, just to look out into the glimmering stars, hoping her son was watching the same thing. She remembered all the prayers that she made before going to sleep since deep in her heart, she can still feel her son was still alive, growing up stronger and stronger within her every day. As she looked on at Erika, she felt like something was going to happen soon, something that would change everything. Sunset. Right now, the sun was starting to set into the horizon to bring in the evening stars. However, the setting sun, which would bring about the beauty of the night stars, was only showing of the battle that was about to come. In an island, there was an army ready and waiting to attack against the enemy of the world. The only thing that wasn't ordinary from any kind of battle on Earth is that this battle isn't on Earth. The battle to end the war is in a magical world, where dragons, people with animal characteristic live, along with mages. This battle was against the organization that is trying to destroy the magical world and its residents. Leading this magical army was a hero to both human and magical creatures in the army. He was known as the most powerful mage, the one with countless spells. He was Nagi Springfield, but better known as the Thousand Master. He was, currently, assessing the last stronghold of the organization, Cosmo Entelekea. He was looking over the enemy stronghold, also known as Ostia's royal castle, the Gravekeeper's palace. Not only was he looking at it, he was waiting for the rest of the magical army to show up. Along with him, were his most trusted friends who not only fought with him by his side, but were also known to be the most powerful men in the world, known as the group called Ayla Rubria. With him were his good friends, master of the Shinmeryu style of swordsmanship, Kono Aishin. Next was Al, a masterful mage of mystery. His master, that looked like a kid but in fact over a 200-year-old demon, Zekt. The next was one of two people to be his eternal rival, the man that is known to be invincible throughout the world, the legendary swordsman mercenary, Jack Racken. Finally, his second rival, who not only at his LV, but is also his adapted younger brother, a young boy of 17 years of age who is not only known as the true Thousand Blades, but also a master of the Shinmeryu arts of swordmanship but also called the Elemental Master, Thomas Springfield to most, but to his family and friends he is known as Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. Naruto wore clothing that were similar, if not resembling, to Nagi's. The only difference was that he wore loose, baggy navy blue jeans, wore a short-sleeve orange shirt, a yin-yang pendant in a whirlpool design around his neck as well had a clay-tempered Japanese samurai sword where he held it with his left hand, not to mention that the handle was extra strengthened cause of the grip that Naruto uses. As all of them watch on, Nagi broke the silence of the calm before the storm. "They're so damn quiet, it's almost creepy," said Nagi as he looked on at the castle. "Well, they'll be underestimating us, that is what evil organization do, bro," said Naruto. It was then that one of the military personnel came up to Nagi and the others to report that the army is ready, which Nagi gave instructions. They then contacted another member of the group to organize the rest of the army, which sadly aren't here yet. Al looked worried as he said, "I'm afraid there isn't any time to make any delayation. We'll just have to make do with what we got. The time limit is upon us," replied Ancient. "Indeed, the enemy has already begun the ceremony to return this world into nothing. The Twilight Imperial Princess, key to the world, is in their hands," said Al. "Yeah," said Nagi. Nagi then said, "All right men let's," before being interrupted by his little brother Naruto. Nagi wait. "What is bro, we don't have time to wait," said Nagi. "I know that, but before we go just remember what we are here to do. I know you have a personal agenda on freeing the little princess, as do I, but that is not your only agenda here. Remember that we're here not to just save the princess, but also to save the world from their plan. Remember that we need stay focused in order to stop the ceremony from being unleashed." You understand, as Naruto looked at his friends, if we aren't careful, the enemy will use that one moment of our ignores to defeat us, so let's fight with everything we have and leave everything on the table since the enemy might have a trick or two. All right, said Naruto. He's right, let's go in, but let go in cautiously with everything that is in the line, we can't make a single mistake. Replied Aishin. Got it, answered Nagi, before thinking about the princess and Naruto's words. All right men, let's move, Nagi yelling out the order to attack the Gravekeeper's palace. With that, Nagi led the magical army for one last battle to end this war. Konoha. It has been a couple of weeks since the Genin graduation exam. Right now, Minato was dealing with Team 7 led by Kakashi on giving him another D-rank mission, but of course, he had to deal with Team 7's supposedly special team member, Sasuke Uchiha. Sasuke was arguing with the fourth on giving him a harder mission. This action was only supported by Sasuke's fangirl, Sakura Haruno, who is also agreeing with Sasuke. Minato disputed with Sasuke, but his former student, Kakashi said that it would be alright to give them a higher mission for them. Minato sighed, which he then decided to agree to Kakashi's request. Alright, if you think they're ready to take on a higher mission Kakashi, then you're on. Said Minato. This pleased Sasuke since he was getting tired on these low D-rank missions. Team 7 looked at the Yondaime, seeing him decided on what kind of mission that they can get. Alright, I have a simple C-rank mission. It's a bodyguard mission to a client. Said Minato. Team 7 wondered on who they will be guarding, which Minato answered their curiosity when he brought out the client. He was an elder man with grey hair and beard along with the fact he kinda looked overweight. His name was Tazuna, a bridge builder, the one who is hiring Konoha Nin to protect him from bandits and make sure that he finishes making a bridge. So these brats are going to protect me, some protection, they looked pathetic. Said Tazuna. Currently, at an open platform, outside one of the palace's towers, Nagi held his opponent by his neck after the intense battle that he had with him. Magnificent, your strength is truly ludicrous, said enemy. The Twilight Imperial Princess, where is she? Answer me that before you die. Nagi ordered as he panted from the battle. Hey, hey, don't tell me you are still under the foolish impression that I am the one behind all of this. Said the enemy as he saw Nagi's comrades come out of the building that the battle had taken place. What? Questioned Nagi. Before Nagi could ask, Naruto saw something out of the corner of his eye and yelled, "Brother! Watch out!" In fear. The next thing Nagi knew, he and the enemy he was holding was shot through the gut by someone. His friends came immediately to help him out, but then noticed that the person that shot Nagi was getting ready to fire another powerful blast at them. Everyone put up their own powerful barrier or defense to block the incoming attack. At that moment, a huge blast of magical power was fired at them, as big as a 3-story building. They tried to defend against it, but were taken down. Once the blast died down, everyone was on the floor completely injured from mild to serious injuries. Rakan, for example, has lost both his arms from the blast as he tried to hold it back. In that moment, when the smoke cleared, the mastermind of the war made his grand appearance, which he came to the stage of the battle. He wore a black cloak that covers everything about him. He looked like the British style of royalty Grim Reaper. He was called the Life Maker, or Mage of the Beginning. Everyone was frozen in fear, but despite all that, only 2 rose to meet the challenge that fell upon them. Nagi, with all his serious injuries, was the first to stand and prove his legendary status as the Thousand Master. Closely following Nagi's determination, the second was his younger brother, Naruto. Naruto, with his sword in hand, stood right beside Nagi, ready to prove why he was called the Elemental Master, or the true Thousand Blades. As they stood, the others who are still down, looked up to see them ready to fight, even with the injuries that they have. Nagi, with most of his serious injuries, were located at his right arm, bleeding badly, along with the hole in his gut. Naruto had lighter wounds, a bleeding forehead, arms with bruise and scrapes, but his left arm was the most serious since it had more deep gashes where blood ran down from it. You can't. Nagi. Naruto. In both your states, Al said before Nagi interrupted him. Al, use all the magic you have left to heal the both of us. But a ridiculous healing like that would, said Al. It only needs to last us for 30 minutes. Replied Naruto. Al was about to protest about it, but then Nagi and Naruto's master, Zect, stood up beside them, to join the fight against the Lifeaker. But before that, they noticed that the ceremony was starting to activate. Things were grim, until Naruto spoke up. Guys, I'll go where the ceremony is taking place. I'll see if I can buy us some time to stop the ceremony. Unfortunately, that means that you two would have to face this bastard by yourselves. Said Naruto. No prob bro, you find the ceremony and try to take care of it, we'll deal with him. Replied Nagi. The two of you can't possibly face him alone. Yelled out Al. If we don't defeat this guy here and now, then the world will be reducing to naught. We don't have any other choice. Said Zect. Nagi wait. It's no good, this guy is on whole other LV. You'll die. We have to regroup for now, said Rakan before Nagi interrupted him. Oh, come on. This is like you Jack. We won't make it if we hang around doing nothing. Said Nagi. After which he declared that he would defeat the mastermind no matter what. With that, Nagi and Zect went to fight the Life Maker, while Naruto, using the distraction that both Nagi and Zect provided, to go inside the palace to try and stop the ceremony that was already taking place. For 10 minutes, Al and Rakan heard the noise of battle between Nagi and Zect against the Life Maker. At the same time, they were relieved to see that Naruto was slowing down the ceremony on the destruction of the world. With this, they were buying some time in order to stop this. After a few more minutes, everyone was shocked to see that Nagi defeated the Lifeaker in a fantastic display of lightning power. After a few moments of waiting, Al got a telepathic communication from Nagi. Hey Nagi, honestly, you never cease to amaze me. Exceeding my expectations every single time, said Al. Now for the princess, no, more importantly, the ceremony. I've defeated their leader, but during the battle, Naruto told me that they already completed the ceremony. Naruto is currently using whatever he has left to try and slow it down, especially since his wounds open up again. We don't have much time till Naruto finally gives in and falls. Telepathically said Nagi. What? They've completed. And Naruto is using whatever strength he has left trying to delay its activation, but with his injuries reopening, at this rate, Al said before he was interrupted when he felt a power increase of some kind. Just then, they saw the ceremony's spell starting to unleash in a bright orb of light that was like being in a tornado that was just growing in power. It was this that Al knew that Naruto had finally given in to fatigue and stopped his delay tactic. Al was thinking that it was over, but then overheard Princess Erika. It was then that Al and Rakan knew that the main fleet that was being led by both Princess Erika and Princess Theo. They ordered their soldiers to create a barrier to stop the ceremony. All of a sudden, their barrier collapsed, which indicated that there is something else in the ceremony. They all thought it was over until they heard a telepathic message from Naruto. Guys, I just looked at the ceremony seal and inscriptions. Apparently, they are not only using ceremony itself, but also using elemental magic to help increase the ceremony's power to stop any sealing process. In that case, all forces create a barrier again, but this time also uses whatever type of element seal you have to stop it. Ordered Erika. As the magical army tried to stop the ceremony, they found that it wasn't slowing down. They were wondering on what was going on. They knew that they only had a few moments left before the ceremony is unleashed. Guys, you need to use all of the elements at the same time and be in sync in order to accomplish the sealing, said Naruto. Be in sync, but that's impossible, given in our state. In order to sync the elements together like this, it's impossible to do it now, said Al. Not if you use me as the catalyst for the seal, said Naruto. They were shocked on what Naruto just said. All of a sudden, they heard a large blast coming where the ceremony was taking place. It was then that Nagi, Al, Rakan, and Ancient watched as Naruto flew high up into the sky with no fear in his eyes. Naruto flew higher, above the glowing light. As he was flying, he heard his friends telepathically yelling at him. Wait, Naruto. There has to be another way, said Al. There isn't time, Al. This is the only chance we have left, said Naruto. If you try to channel all that power through you, you'll die, said Rakan. I know, stated Naruto. Erika, Theo, do it, use me for the seal now that we still have a chance, yelled out Naruto. Erika and Theo gripped the guardrails of their ships in frustration since they grew to like him as their friend. Erika, remember what we came here to do, now do it, yelled out Naruto in frustration. With that, Erika yelled out, all forces, unleash the seal as well as an elemental seal and focus all on the elemental master, Thomas Springfield. Princess Theo also unleashed the same order. The army unleashed the seal with the addition of the element seal. Naruto was prepared and could sense the seal's magic about to reach him. He closed his eyes, prepared for his greatest act. He then heard Nagi call out to him telepathically. Wait, brother. Don't do this. It's alright, bro. I am making this decision on my own terms. Consider this as saying thank you for taking me in and making me part of your family for when I was taken from my first. Also, tell Erika-san, I'm sorry I couldn't be there at your wedding, smiled Naruto. At that moment, Nagi watched in pain and sadness as the seal connected with Naruto and he screamed in pain. Brother, yelled out Nagi. The sealing of the ceremony was completed. Everyone watched as the brave young man, making the ultimate sacrifice for them. In an amazing show of bright and flashing light, the seal was created and held together, which stopped the ceremony that could have destroyed the magical world. Once it was over, Al and Rakan saw something fall. In a great speed falling down, the members of Ayla Rubra saw Naruto's sword strike the ground, blade first. Nagi came walking towards his brother's sword, which is the last thing that he had of him. Naruto POV. Right when the seal struck him, he gathered whatever magical power he had left to harmonize all the elemental magic together to synchronize them. He felt so much pain when the sealing spell was activated on him that what felt like an eternity only lasted a few seconds. Once it was done, he then felt like he was floating in an endless void. So this is it, this is how it ends for me, HMPH, at least I was able to outdo my brother for once. Naruto smiled in thought. Too bad, I wish I could have seen the look of shock on Nagi's face. It would have been a pleasure to see him so surprised like this. Said a mellow voice. I would have settled on finally outdoing both my brother and Rakan on our rival matches, Kurama. Said Naruto to the QB. Naruto, are you going to be okay? I know at this moment that we don't have much time to live yet. I wished you could have seen your parents for once in your life. Said another mysterious voice. I'll be alright, I'll be able to see them again. After all, where we are going, everyone will be going to the same place in the afterlife. I will wait for them when the time comes. Sarutobi Gigi. Said Naruto. Naruto was mentally talking with the Kyuubi and the Sandaime Hokage. He knew about them for a good few years now, thanks to his family and friends. Naruto, my time is drawing near. With you having little magic power left, my spirit can no longer stay in this plane anymore, but even so, I have to thank you, cause through your eyes, I was able to see a whole new world beyond my imagination, a world of possible peace and tranquility, even if it was for a short time. Said the Sandaime Hokage as he began to fade. See ya, old man, I'll be following you in a moment, alright. Said Naruto. The Sandaime disappeared in front of Naruto as he began to drift towards someplace. He looked to see a bright light getting bigger and bigger, driving the darkened void that was surrounding him for a while. As he began to go through it, he felt like he will be at peace now. Nami no Kuni. Currently, Team 7 was fighting off Zabuza, the demon of the mist. Earlier he and Kakashi had fought against each other, but were now imprisoned by Zabuza's water prison jutsu. After Kakashi was captured, Sasuke and Sai had no choice but to free Kakashi since without him, defeating Zabuza would be impossible. Zabuza unleashed his water clone jutsu at Team 7. As Kakashi watched on as Sai and Sasuke tried to deal with the clone, with Sai having better luck than Sasuke, he thought that the situation was very grim. At that very moment, everything changes. Above them, everyone heard what sounded like lightning and thunder or a mixture of the two. They all looked up to see a vortex of some sort appearing above Zabuza and Kakashi. Everyone wondered what was going on, but then as quickly as it came, it disappeared. As it was disappearing, something fell out of it. That something was a person, with a hood covering the face, as he fell towards Zabuza. Zabuza's attention was focused on the person that was falling down on top of Kakashi and him, that he didn't notice a kunai was coming straight at him until it was at the last moment. The person dropped into the water as Zabuza's attention was back at his opponent. He saw the kunai coming at him, which he saw that it was Sakura taking the advantage of the situation. With Zabuza momentary distracted, the clone also disappears, along with Zabuza's water prison jutsu stopping and freeing Kakashi. As the commotion of the falling person, Naruto himself was also having some strange thoughts on what's going on. Currently in a bedroom, Kakashi was laying down on a futon on the second floor of Tazuna's house. Lying next to him, about a meter away, was Naruto. But unlike Kakashi, he was bandaged up and still out cold. After Naruto fell into the water, Kakashi immediately rescued him from drowning. He then saved Sakura from Zabuza's sword strike, while carrying Naruto under his left arm. Kakashi then pushed back Zabuza to give them some space. Kakashi placed Naruto near the shore, which he ordered his team to not only protect Tazuna, but also help the unconscious person, whose face was hidden because of his hooded cloak. Once Team 7 drags the person to shore, Kakashi then focuses his attention on Zabuza. He used his Sharingan to copy Zabuza's movements, which he was able to get the upper hand. Right before Kakashi could finish him, Zabuza was by a Mizu Hunter Nin. Once the Hunter Nin took Zabuza's body, Kakashi's team immediately came up to him, while he walked towards them. But it was also then that the effects of Sharingan took its toll on Kakashi and knocked him out. Team 7 decided to take Kakashi to Tazuna's house to get some rest. But before making that decision, they looked at the person that was lying before them. Sakura took a closer look at him, but once she touched his body, she felt something warm on his left arm. She thought it was his arm trying to warm up again from being in the cold water, but when she looked at her palm, she saw that it was blood and that he was breathing shallow. After deciding on what to do, they took him to get him some medical attention. Once in the house, they took Kakashi to the second floor to rest, the same with Naruto, who they don't know, to start some medical stuff. Sakura knew a bit of medical knowledge from the academy, while Tsunami, who also knew a bit of medical knowledge, helped in bandaging the person. They stripped him of his clothes to see that he was young blonde spiky hair teenage boy. As they strip him down, Sakura couldn't help, despite the situation he was in, he was quite attractive. Tsunami quickly saw that his left arm was completely bruised and bleeding badly, along with bleeding forehead, an open deep wound on his right side. Tsunami and Sakura did all they can do and bandage above his waist and hope that he can pull through his own strength. Evening. It has been a day since the battle with Zabuza. Kakashi woke up early evening from his fight with Zabuza. As he looked around, he saw that Sai was watching him. Once Kakashi was awake, he looked around his environment to see that the person that, unintentionally, saves him was here and out cold from the serious injuries that he could see. After gathering Team 7, with Tazuna, and discussing the battle between Zabuza, as well as the likelihood that Zabuza is alive, Kakashi informed them that he would train them in order for them to prepare on fighting Zabuza again. Sasuke grinned on the thought of having another chance to fight Zabuza again, while Sakura looked kinda worried. Sai didn't really care or that how his face said about him. Now, since Zabuza is out of the picture for the time being, I'm now more interested in finding out on who that person lying next to me is, said Kakashi, as he once again looked at the young teenager. This time he was more detailed on looking at him. Kakashi saw the boy that he had blonde spiky hair and tan skin. He would have liked to get a more accurate look on him, but his face had a few bandages on, along with the bed sheets that cover his body, one on his cheek and another around his forehead. He can also tell that the boy was also strong since his body was well built. Negama ch. 238. pg. 2 to see Naruto's body features. Of course he can also see some of the bandages that were on his body. After examining the boy, he looked at his team. Were you able to find out anything about him while you were treating him? Asked Kakashi. Not yet, since I only help with some of the bandaging above the waist, while Tsunami looked and bandaged the rest of his body since she saw that he had a few more bruises on him. I did ask Tsunami to give me his clothing so we can check if he had anything on him, answered Sakura, which she brought to Kakashi a few pieces of paper that looked like letters, which some were old and new, a pendant, and his boots. So that's all you've been able to find. What about his clothes? Sasuke asked. Yeah, that's all I found in his clothes. Tsunami put some spare clothing on him before washing his clothing since it was dirty and had dried blood on it, answered Sakura, until she snapped her head up a bit. Oh wait, Tsunami said as she was checking on him that he shouldn't be called a boy for some odd reason while she blushed a bit. Other than that, there was nothing else she saw on him. Sakura said. I see, answered Kakashi, as he thought about the boy and the mystery that surrounded him. Sai looked at the boots to see if there was any hidden compartment, while Sasuke looked at the pendant, which brought his curiosity up since it was the yin-yang, but in a way that it was a whirlpool design. Sakura looked at the letters to see that it had some unique way it was made it. The letters, written in Latin, had two black horizontal and vertical lines near each edge. Above the letter had strange writing that was written horizontally and had many of the strange writing going down. In the center was like a circle with strange symbols. Near the circle was a mute button, a play button and stop button symbol, which she doesn't know. Sakura continued to look at the letters until she'd accidentally touched the play button on the oldest looking letter. When she touched it, a holographic image appeared in front of her. Ah, what is this? Yelped Sakura. Everyone turned to look at the letter that she dropped to see the image of an attractive white-haired woman that looked to be at her early 30s. She wore a white, long-sleeve dress that went down her body until it started to fade from the image it had. Just before they question on how an image appeared from a letter, the person in the letter started to talk. Hey sweetie, how is your training coming along? Even though I know you can take care of yourself by now, I can't help but be a bit overprotective of you since you're still so young, but as your mother I can't help it. I recently have gotten a letter from your older brothers as well. They seem to be doing pretty well, despite their being busy from what I gathered, especially with Nagi with what has been happening with him lately. I hope you send me a letter soon. Have fun and stay safe while you train. Bye my little sunshine, said in a sweet heavenly voice, but with a strange accent. It was then that the letter stopped and the image disappeared. As everyone stared at it, they couldn't help but wonder on how it spoke and from such a little thing. How did it do that? There is no way that a letter can have images appeared out of nowhere, but this one has images and it talked too. Asked Sasuke. Sai went to the letter to press the play button again to see that it was playing the same message as before, meaning that it was a recording. Sasuke picked another older-looking piece of letter. He presses the same play button on the other letter. Another image appeared. Instead of the same woman, a young handsome preteen boy with red spiky hair going down that looked to be as old as Sai or Sasuke. When Sakura looked at him, she couldn't help but think that this guy was even more attractive than Sasuke. Hey little bro, I got your letter the other day. I was amazed that you not only went to India but made past the Himalayas into China. But I'm more amazed that you actually found someone to teach you martial arts as well as basic swordsmanship. That's great, but hey, once you've gotten a little older or when you're gotten stronger, come and meet up with me. I'm sure Aishin, here, can help you train more in swordsmanship. With the same British accent. He was then interrupted by an older person that looked like he was 15 or early 20s appeared next to him. He looked straight-laced and serious, with short spiky hair and brown eyes. His face was narrow, but still looks handsome, even with glasses. He wore a black long-sleeve sweater and finally what looked like brown pants. Wait, what do you mean train him? I'm not going to take your 8-year-old little brother as my apprentice just because you say so, Nagi, annoyed Aishin. Don't be such an old bat, I just meant that you just show him some of your fighting style moves and spar with him to get better, that's all. I'm not asking you to train him in everything you know, just things that you are willing to show him. Nagi cheerfully said. Nagi then apologized with hand signals and then said, "Anyway, I'm still not sure about Aishinon helping you with your swordmanship, but I know that my master, Zekt, would help you out on getting stronger, right, master?" "Sure, why not? I don't mind torturing another soul," said a mysterious, but young voice. Nagi laughed nervously, but then looked it straight forward again. "Well then, hopefully, the next letter I get from you would be soon. See ya, little bro. OPS. Careful with those girls over there, since like me, you seem to attract girls wherever you go. Bye now, Thomas." Finished speaking. Once the letter was done, the miniature projection stopped as well and back to normal slip of paper. Kakashi and the others were now getting somewhere since they now gotten a few clues. First was that this letter was a couple of years old and that this teenager was 8 years old when he gotten it, almost 10 years ago they guessed. Second was that he was training for something, which they know that it was something with taijutsu and swordmanship in a place that they don't know. Third was that he had an older brother, but they don't look like each other, while the white-hair woman and the red-haired teenage boy did with something things. Finally, the final clue was his name, Thomas. As they were thinking, Sakura decided to get more answers from the 2 final letters. She pressed the play button to see that it was the redhead, but older now, like nearing 18 to 19-year-old. "Hey bro, listen, I know that things lately have been going hard on all of us, but now is not the time to be soft. We have important work to do. Once you completed your work, come and meet up with us at the capital. We'll use the information that you were able to gather to unlock the mysterious of Cosmo Entelechy." "Okay bro, see you soon." "Serious," said Nagi. As they thought about it, their thought were on, who was Cosmo Entelechy since they never heard of this organization. Kakashi asked Sai to press the final letter to see that it was newest looking one of all the 4. The next one revealed a tall, beautiful young woman, 18 to 19 years old, with blue eyes and long golden blonde hair that fell past her waist. Even though she looked beautiful, she had a very serious face and from what they can tell a strong will. "Listen, the next attack from the enemy forces is going to attack in 3 separate divisions. Nagi and your friends will be leading the attack head-on, while you are going to sneak around them and take out any surprise attack that they may have. Once you done that, meet up with Ayla Rubra to continue the attack. Hopefully, if we push them hard enough we can get them to surrender or at least have a ceasefire with their forces. Remember, you'll be facing an army of a possibility of 5,000 forces out of the 25,000 that we'll be facing if the information is correct. Also, your brother has asked me to give you this message. I hope to see you in the front lines. That's all. Good luck, Naruto." When the letter finished its message, they couldn't believe on what they just heard. For one, this young man was going to or has fought about 5,000 soldiers by himself, even though he looks to be young. As everyone was thinking about it, they turned to look at the young man and wondered on who he is. But for Kakashi, there was one thing that was really bothering him. As last message finished, and heard the woman say, "Naruto," he was beginning to have a lot of thoughts about what is going on. It was around this time that Naruto started to wake up from being out cold. He started to struggle a bit from the sheets that were placed on him. Everyone looked to see that he just woke up and started to move. Sakura quickly went to his side, while everyone looked on to see if he was all right. As she tried to keep him from moving, Naruto opened his eyes a bit to only see a blur of pink in front of him. "Why is there a cherry blossom in heaven?" struggled Naruto, before he fell back to sleep again. Even though it was for a moment, Sakura was able to see his eyes open up a bit to see that it was sapphire blue. Once he went back to sleep, Sakura couldn't help but really look at him, imagining him without bandages. As she looks at him, she can see the scary resemblance between him and the Yondaime Hokage. She decided to speak up about it. Everyone, right now, was eating breakfast. Kakashi was well enough to eat something, but still had problems moving on his own strength, which he needs crutches to move around. Today, Kakashi is going to put his team on a new training exercise since he knew that they needed to get stronger in order to face Zabuza. Once they finished eating, Kakashi told his young genin team to get ready for training. Sasuke was more than happy since he wanted to get stronger, you all know the reason. It was then before leaving Tazuna's house, that Sakura decided to check on Naruto. I'm going upstairs first to see if that boy is alright, he may have woken up again by now. Alright then, once you checked on the boy, we'll go and start on your training since we need to prepare if Zabuza returns again, said Kakashi. Sakura nodded in agreement, which Tsunami said that she will also go to check on him to see if his bandages needed changing. By the way, Sakura, why are you wearing the boy's pendant around your neck? Sai asked curiously since he has seen her wearing the pendant around her neck all morning long. Just because I feel like it and that it would look good on me, plus I want to make sure it stays safe, answered Sakura. It was then from behind her, everyone heard a voice. Oh really, wouldn't it be safer around my neck since it is mine? Everyone turned to see that the young boy was up and about and looking fine. He was wearing his clothes that Tsunami had cleaned and left next to him, except for his hooded mage cloak. Sakura blushed a little, since she was seeing him up close, without the bandage on his face, to him and had to admit again that he was attractive. Everyone was stunned to see that the boy was able to walk. Considering the injuries that he had, he should be out and unable to move for a week without medical attention. It was then at this point that Tsunami got her act back together and quickly made it to him. Wow, what are you doing? You're seriously injured. You need to lie down and rest or you're going to reopen your wounds again, ordered Tsunami. It's all right, I'm fine now, answered Naruto. No, you're not fine, you need to get these clothes off and get back to bed because of the injuries on your arm and deep wound near your waist, complained Tsunami, as she tried to move Naruto back upstairs. But Naruto just held back Tsunami to remove his shirt to reveal his chest. Everyone was shocked to see that the wounds on his left arm were almost completely healed up, and the deep wound was only showing bruise signs. I heal ridiculously fast. Wounds like this will be healed up in a day or so for me, said Naruto, while thinking, that's because of Kurama and my magical power helping me out. He then looked at Sakura and sticked out his hand in front of her. You mind giving me back my pendant, little girl? Asked Naruto. Sakura complied and removed the pendant from her neck, which Naruto took it back and placed around his neck. He then asked on who bandaged him up, which Tsunami and Sakura answered that they did. He thanked them for helping him out, but asks if Tsunami is the one that changed his clothing. Tsunami blushed a little, agreed that she changed him, which he said thank you. He looked around to see the people that were seating in the kitchen. He saw Kakashi, Sasuke, Sai, Tazuna, and Tsunami's son, Inari, which of course, he didn't know. As he looked around the kitchen, dining room, his attention was drawn more to Kakashi, more precisely his headband that acted as an eye patch. Naruto looked at Kakashi's headband, which was bugging him about something that Kakashi noticed and decided to speak about it. Why are you looking at me? Kakashi asked. Oh sorry, it's not you I'm looking at, it's your headband. answered Naruto. You're interested in my Konoha headband? Questioned Kakashi. Konoha, muttered Naruto. It was then that Naruto gone wide-eye, as he remembered now on why Kakashi's headband was familiar to him. It was the leaf symbol that he remembered on what the Sandaime told one time. Flashback. Right now, a 15-year-old Naruto was awake, on guard duty while his brother and friends were sleeping for the night. He was the first watch on, keeping a lookout as everyone slept. As he looks up to see the stars, the Sandaime Hokage appeared next to him in his ghostly figure. Beautiful night tonight, huh, Naruto? Said Sarutobi. Yes it is, if it wasn't for the threat of war, I would really enjoy it more. Stated Naruto. Yes, how unfortunate that the magical world is dealing with this problem. I sincerely hope that war doesn't break out, since we still need to try to find a way back home. Said Sarutobi as he holds a ghostly smoking pipe, not lit. Yeah, hey Gigi, if I ever do get back home, how the hell will I even know which country or village to go, if I don't even know the place? Asked Naruto. Well, I'll be there to help you, since I used to live there and know a lot of the terrain. But I think I should tell you just in case if I chose to finally rest in peace or something else comes along. Answered the old Hokage. Sarutobi told Naruto that his parents live in Hai no Kuni, Fire Country, in a village called Konoha. He explained that if Naruto ever runs into a Konoha shinobi, he should ask him for directions if the person was on a mission, or follow the person back, since following him would lead him home. He described to Naruto on what a Konoha symbol looks like on the ground. Now, once you finish making a right triangle, erase the sideline and add a swirling circle starting from the top and spin it around clockwise into a whirlpool. Stated third Hokage. Like this? Questioned Naruto. Once Naruto completed it, Sarutobi nodded in agreement and said, good, just like that. Remembered Naruto, if you ever go back home to our world and see a symbol like this, you well know that he or she is a Konoha shinobi and an ally to you. But be careful, since if you see the symbol with a scratch going across the symbol, it means that they are rogue. End flashback. As Naruto went wide-eye, Kakashi looked at him carefully, since Naruto looked like he was struck by lightning. Kakashi was very curious now, since Naruto's reaction was interesting to see. Sasuke and Sai also notice it. Naruto went wide-eye for a second or two, which he quickly recovered from it. Naruto shook his head, since now he knew where he was. The sealing ceremony that I became a catalyst to must have been much more intense on me than I thought, since I used what was left of my magic chakra synchronization, along with the magic of the entire army. It must have pushed my body and power into a special void or something that teleported me here or something. If that's true, then, if I follow these Konoha nin back to Konoha, then I can see my parents. Naruto happily thought. Everyone looked at Naruto as he was silent for a moment, like he was thinking about something, but then saw him smiled. He then started to walk away. Tsunami question on where he is going. Oh, don't worry, I'll be back, I just need to find out about something. Smirked Naruto. Naruto went to the front door, put on his boots that were there, and left. In the kitchen, dining room, everyone thought that he was weird since the way he acted. Kakashi decided to awake his team from sudden confusion about the boy by telling them to get ready to start training. Outside, after taking a 10-minute walk, Kakashi found a nice place for his genin team to start the tree walking exercise. Once he was done explaining to them on how it works, he told them to start doing it. For Sasuke, he put too much chakra on the tree and cracks apart underneath his foot, which pushed him away, but before going more than 3 meters high. Sai climbed about the same height as Sasuke. But the one that made it high up to Kakashi's LV was Sakura, who was sitting on the branch. Well, looks like the kunoichi of the group has the better chakra control. Not only does Sakura know a lot about chakra, her control and stamina are quite good. Comparing her to an elite Uchiha that we have here, she makes the name worthless. Casually explained Kakashi. Shut it, sensei, yelled Sakura, as she thought that Sasuke would hate her now. As Kakashi watched from above at both Sasuke and Sai, he thought, of course, Sasuke have an incomparably greater chakra amount of chakra within him. If this training goes well, he could be a powerful assist. Before they could do anything, someone yelled out, should you be telling them that, especially when you knew Her Majesty here would of course be able to climb up the tree first since she has a lot less chakra comparing to the other two runts there. Everyone looked at the tree that Kakashi was on, to see that it was the boy, Naruto, above him, about twice as further up. Naruto looked down on the others, which he then yelled, of course, you are probably hoping to motivate the emo kid down there into trying harder since you know already that he wouldn't be able to make on the first try since he has a lot more chakra to control instead, right? He came walking down the tree like a casual person walking on the ground. As soon he came to Kakashi's LV, he looked at Genin to see what their reactions about what he just said. Sakura was amazed that blonde-hair boy was able to do the tree climbing technique, but was also surprised to know that Sasuke hold more power than she knows. Sasuke was surprised to know that the blonde-hair teenager knew that he couldn't make on the first try since he had more chakra than Sakura, making it a lot harder for him to do the technique. Sai just looks emotionless, since he doesn't really have anything to say about. Kakashi was the one that kinda looked pieve, but saw that Sasuke is even more motivated since he knows now that if he trains hard, he could unleash the tremendous chakra that is dormant within him. I'm surprised that you are able to do this exercise, huh? Stated Kakashi. Yeah, well I had a pretty good, grandfather that was also an excellent teacher. Naruto smiled, as he thought of the old man. Well, since you're here, there is something that I have been meaning on asking you. Asked Kakashi. Like what, governor? Said Naruto. What is your name? Questioned Kakashi. I'll tell you mine, if you tell me yours since it's the polite thing to do when you first meet a stranger. Asked Naruto. His name is Kakashi Hatake. Answered Sakura. It was at this moment that Naruto knew the person in front of him is. Naruto heard that name before, when the Sandaime explained to him, like him, his father also had students and only one of them survived. That student was Kakashi Hatake. Naruto couldn't help but think his luck is getting better, but of course he saw Kakashi looking at him with somewhat of a glare for saying what he was trying to keep hidden from Sasuke. Alright, now since you know my name. What's yours? Asked Kakashi. Everyone looked at Naruto, who they still didn't know. Naruto answered with a soft smile, my name Thomas Springfield. Sasuke thought it was weird, especially with the weird accent that he spoke. Sakura was intrigued since she never met anyone who looked so close the Yondaime Hokage. Kakashi just plainly looked at him, like he was regular person now. Of course, Naruto continue on before they could even say another word. Of course, that is what my adoptive mother named me after she found me. You may not know it, but I believe your sensei does since the night of 9, the old monkey not save 2 souls but also the greatest treasure. Sasuke, Sakura and Sai were wondering on what he meant, while Kakashi was readying between the lines on what he was saying. Know his name, Knight of 9, old monkey, two souls, and the greatest treasure. Thought Kakashi as he read between the lines on what it all means. The more he thought about it, the more he started to realize that the key words in the sentence. It was only then after thinking about it for a few moments that he realized who he is. The clues were there. The way he looks like his sensei, the Yondaime Hokage, the sentence he said. Kakashi thought, is he actually Naruto? Before Kakashi can continue to think, Naruto said, see ya chaps. I'm going to explore this island since I kinda like to know my surroundings. Once he said that, he jumped away and started to explore the island. When Naruto left, Kakashi told his team to continue their training, while he went back to the house since he needs to rest, plus he figured that Naruto will return there after he finished his exploring. Naruto made it the small island away from the island that Tazuna's house was located. He first found a nice flat boulder that had a good view of the ocean. After finding the location, he went and sat down in a meditating state. Oi Kurama. Kurama. Are you alright? Answer me. Naruto mentally yelled out in his mindscape. It was silent for a while, but then he heard a bit of a small sound, which started to get louder. Ah, Naruto, my head is aching me, what happened? Where are we? Said Kurama. We're back in our world, the world that we were both born in, thought Naruto. Are you sure? Said Kurama. Yes, I spoke with some Konoha shinobi when I woke up after our little life or death situation. I saw the leaf symbol on all of their headbands. Thought Naruto. So I'm guessing then that it's going to be an interesting reunion, said Kurama. Yep, I guess. Naruto thought, feeling a little nervous about meeting his parents. End flashback. After making contact with Kurama, Naruto decided to check on his magical powers. Once he knew where he stands, he decided to check the area around the village in secret. He quickly went back to the island to start checking things out. Tazuna's house. It's already past 5 p.m. when Naruto returned back from his little adventure. He already checked the island inhabitants and saw the poor condition that the villagers have been living in. He already has seen the poor conditions during the war in the magical world. On the way, he bumped into both Sakura and Tazuna. Before he walked towards them, he saw Sakura gave some candy to a little boy, who looked very hungry. He walked up to them and complimented her on it. It was also there that Tazuna explained on how the person who is destroying the people's lives was named Gato. When Naruto saw how these people were starving and suffering, he decided to give them a little help. Naruto went along with Sakura and Tazuna back home to Tazuna's house. Dinner was made by Tsunami, which Tazuna sat in the head of the table, while everyone else sat on the sides. Naruto thanked Tsunami for the meal as well. After dinner, Sakura asked about a picture that was torn, hanging on the wall that had Tazuna, Tsunami and Inari. Naruto heard the sad story about Inari's stepfather. Outside. Naruto stood outside the house, overlooking the night sky. As he continued to stare at the stars, he thought about his brother and friends, as well as wondering if the sacrifice he did for everyone back in the magical world helped save the entire world. Even though he could continue to think about it, he knew that for now, he can't since there is no way of finding out until he can figure something out. The only thing he could do right now, is live in the present and move towards the future, whatever future that lay before him now. His thoughts changed from his own personal problem, to the problem of this island. He remembered what Inari said earlier today at dinner. Are you stupid? There's no such thing as a hero. With careless and disgusted voice. Naruto thought back at how his brother as well as all his friends from Ayla Rubra You're right, kid. Heroes aren't born. However, they are made by the people that they hold dear in their hearts, as well as knowing when right thing to do needs to be done like your dad did. I think it's about time that this place starts believing in again when you take up your father's legacy, kid. Naruto thought as he smiled. Naruto knew what needed to be done first, so he was about to go, when he sensed someone watching him. He knew where the source was located, so he just stood there at his spot to speak. You know, if you're going to watch me, I suggest you do a better job than that, right, Kakashi-san? Out of the shadows, Kakashi appears behind him, which he doesn't move to see him. Of course, he could sense him thanks to the powers that he was able to gain when he learned to control Kurama. When Kakashi stepped out, he looked at Naruto, in the moonlight. For a moment or two, he could have sworn that he is seeing his sensei's back. After Kakashi came up towards Naruto, while both of them staying on neutral mode. They stood there for a few moments, until Naruto spoke up. What is it? The way you're looking at me right now is kinda creepy. Is there something bothering you right now? Yes, on what you told us earlier today. Even though it was cryptic, you explained it a way that only I would understand. If I'm right, then, are you really, stated Kakashi, until Naruto cut him off. Yes, I am. If you are wondering on how I know as well, you can thank the old monkey since he has been with me for a couple of years now. Unfortunately, he is now resting in peace. Sadly smiling Naruto. Kakashi was finding all this hard to believe since Naruto has been missing for 12 years, without so much as a clue to where he can be. And the only reason he knows this is that his sensei, the Yondaime Hokage, had asked him to help him search for his son in secret. Before Kakashi can say anything, Naruto spoke up. If you're wondering where I have been for all these years, which I am wondering how long it's been here, we can talk about it another time. Right now, I got some things to do, so good night. After which, Naruto started to walk away from the porch and away from the house. Kakashi would have gone, but he was still on crutches, so he can only do was watch him go and start thinking about on what to do about this new situation along with the situation with Zabuza and Gato. Morning. It's been 6 days since the encounter with Zabuza. During that time, Kakashi was recovering quite well, while his genin team has improved on their chakra control with the tree climbing exercise. But what was surprising for not only them, but also everyone in the village was the fact that someone or something came into the village, and suddenly left everyone in the village, food provisions, mostly rice, fresh vegetables, and fruit, in front of everyone's homes, enough for the people living inside to get by for 2 days. This went on every 2 days, for the entire week. Everyone wondered on who kept coming here and giving him these gifts for them not only to eat but also to feed their families. Naturally, the people were wondering on who it was. Kakashi had a pretty good idea, but he couldn't prove it without some sort of evidence, especially considering on what it requires for this to be true or not. It was early in the morning on the 6th day and Naruto was sleeping on plain grass, surrounded by trees. The reason he was sleeping there was because he felt like it since it was starting to get crowded back in Tazuna's house. As he slept, there was someone else walking through the forest. Someone was walking around the forest, picking up plants and herbs for medical treatment. The person was a young girl, 15 years, long black hair that goes past her mid-back. She had a beautiful face with lovely black eyes and wore a kimono with swirl designs. As she enjoyed the walk, she noticed that some of the birds that came around her gathered on another spot. She looked to see that there was someone lying on the ground with a hood covering his face. Once she notices the person, she can tell that the person was a young man. She quickly went towards him to see if he was all right. Tazuna's house. It was mid-morning when everyone in Tazuna's house was fully awake. Sakura was now coming downstairs to meet up with everyone. As everyone was getting ready for Tsunami's breakfast, Tazuna wondered what happened with Naruto since he left yesterday night. For the past couple of nights, none of them knew that Naruto was doing for these past couple of nights, but guessed he is probably the one that got the villagers the large amounts of food. Of course, they knew that it was impossible since it would be impossible by himself. As they wondered where Naruto is, Kakashi explained to them that he is just fine since he may not look it, he is a natural survivor. Naruto was sleeping peacefully when he felt someone starting to try and wake him up. He could hear a soft, gentle voice say, "You'll catch a cold sleeping in a place like this." Naruto woke up to see a beautiful raven hair beauty in front of him. Naruto yawned before saying, that was a nice nap. He then looked at the beauty. "Who are you?" asked in curiosity. After explaining that her name is Haku and was a healer, Naruto joined her in helping her look for herbs. As they search, the Haku asked Naruto on why he doing in the forest by himself. He explained that he was doing a bit of training and decided to sleep in the forest since it was too crowded a place he was living for the moment. As they continue to have their conversation, Haku asked him on why he was training. Naruto explained that he was training so he can be as strong as he can find his lost family and to help protect them. Haku agreed with Naruto since she has someone else to protect as well. As they were finishing up, Naruto bid farewell to Haku. "Oh, by the way, I'm a boy," said Haku as he was leaving. Normally, any guy that was trying to flirt with Haku would have freaked out to know that they were trying to put the moves on a boy. But Naruto was different. At first, Naruto was of course stunned for a moment, but sensed something else which he just smirked. "All right, thanks for telling me," said Naruto as he walked away, while saying, "Mr. Tomboy." With a smirk. It's been another hard day of training for both Sasuke and Sai since they have been doing the tree climbing exercise, but were finally able to make it on top of the tree with only their feet. With that, both of them went back to Tazuna's house. Currently, it was dinner time when Sasuke and Sai made it back to Tazuna's house, which they told Kakashi that they made it to the top of the tree. Once Kakashi heard them complete the exercise, Kakashi put them on guard duty with Tazuna, which Kakashi will accompany them since he is well enough to help out as well. As everyone was waiting for dinner, Naruto, who came back to the house after a couple of hours of his own secret training. During that time, he sensed Inari starting to feel mad about something towards Kakashi and his genin team. It wasn't until Inari yelled out at why they were bothering on training since he believed that they will die by Gator's men. None of them said anything, but Naruto decided to put Inari in his place by telling him that his father would be ashamed of him on the way he was acting right now, and telling him that his sacrifice for his son was now worthless. He then told him that the way he is now, he will always be a crybaby forever, as he leaves the dinner table to go outside. Inari cried when Naruto told him something so harsh, while Tsunami yelled at him for saying such a thing to her son, which he didn't show or care about apologizing. Later, everyone was asleep, while Naruto didn't return to the house. Inari was outside watching the moon on the porch above the water. Kakashi came over to try and explain something to Inari, which helped since he has experienced loss just like Inari. Once he had the conversation, Kakashi left Inari to himself for him to figure things out. Morning. Tsunami and Inari were outside wishing Tazuna, Kakashi and the genin a good day at the bridge. Unbeknownst to them, Zabuza was ready to go as well and was ready to Tazuna, along with his partner, Haku, by his side. After a while of walking and making it to the bridge, everyone saw the horror that awaited them. In front of them, Tazuna's workers were lying down and injured by someone. Kakashi figured that it was probably Zabuza. While they were ready to fight for their lives, Tsunami and Inari were about to get in trouble when two of Gato's thugs came and were outside, ready to do something to them. Inside, Tsunami was minding her own business, when the two thugs outside slice up her house's wall into the kitchen. They wanted to kidnap her as ransom to stop Tazuna from completing the bridge. Inari came down to see what happened, and saw the thugs. One of them wanted to cut the kid since they needed only one hostage. Tsunami threatened to herself to protect her son. They took Tsunami, while Inari just cried about not protecting his mom and stuff. He then remembered what everyone told him about being strong and stuff. Once he made up his mind, he went to defend his mother. He ordered them to stop and let her go, which he then ran towards them to knock him out. Tsunami tried to stop him, but the two swordmen pulled out their swords to cut Inari. But right before they could reach each other, both the swordsmen were thrown off over Inari and knocked away towards the house. Inari wondered what happened, as well as Tsunami. They then heard, "Good thing I was nearby or otherwise you would have been in a troubling situation." Both Tsunami and Inari looked behind them to see Naruto standing behind Tsunami. Both the swordmen were surprised to see him here. Both of them draw their swords out from their sheaths, which Naruto walked past Tsunami and Inari, as he was ready to fight them. A few seconds later, Naruto was now standing on top of both swordmen, who were knocked out. Naruto just took him out so fast, that Inari and Tsunami couldn't believe how fast he was. Once he explained something about why he was back at their house, he congratulated Inari for acting brave, since now his father must be proud of him. Once both the thugs were tied up, Naruto left Inari and Tsunami to take care of things here, while he went to the bridge to make sure that everyone was alright. Bridge. Back on the bridge, everyone was on full gear when Zabuza and his partner, the fake masked Mizu Anbu, surprised in their arrival within the hidden mist that Zabuza created. First, Zabuza created a few water clones, which Sasuke took care of in an instant. Zabuza was somewhat impressed that Sasuke improved in speed and power. Haku was then ready to face Kakashi and his team. Sasuke said that he will take care of Haku, while Kakashi would face Zabuza. Sasuke and Haku first fought with their shinobi tools, Sasuke with his kunai while Haku fought with senbon needles. They were dead even and after a while, they were deadlock with their ninja tools. Not bad, but I don't want to you, of course you won't stand down, will you? Said Haku. Don't be foolish, replied Sasuke. Haku then told Sasuke that he won't have a chance against his speed. Haku also explained that she has got two advantages, with the water for the water clones was around them. The other is something that Sasuke and the others didn't know it could be done. Haku went to perform a jutsu with one-hand signs, which Sasuke or anyone else couldn't believe that it could be done. Around Sasuke and Haku, Haku performed a large-scale needle attack made of water. Sasuke was able to dodge the attack by remembering his training. Once Haku's water needle attack missed, Haku was put onto the defensive, which she was kicked back by Sasuke, back to Zabuza's side. It was then at this time, that Zabuza told Haku to stop playing around. Haku began to release a large amount of chakra, which everyone could tell that something big was coming. Haku unleashed his secret jutsu, demonic ice mirrors. Everyone was stunned that a small dome was made of ice appeared around Sasuke. Haku stepped into the ice, which shocked everyone as he merged with it. Kakashi ordered Sakura and Sai to protect Tazuna, so he can help Sasuke. Unfortunately, Zabuza was there to stop Kakashi from helping Sasuke. Since he did, Zabuza will Sakura, Sai, and Tazuna. Sakura and Sai formed a plan to help Sasuke by Sai going into to help him, while Sakura would prove a distraction, while giving Sasuke a kunai to help protect him. They went with the plan, but Haku caught the kunai, while Sai was able to get inside the dome. Once Sai was inside, Haku attacked, which Sai used his Nagato sword to block most of the Senbon strikes that came out of all the mirrors. Unfortunately, some Senbon attacks went through and hit both Sai and Sasuke. While Sasuke and Sai fight for their lives, Kakashi was in the middle fighting Zabuza on his own. The hidden mist was so thick that Kakashi couldn't use the Sharingan very well, while Zabuza had an advantage since he can fight with sound alone. At one point, Zabuza attacked Tazuna and Sakura, but were saved thanks to Kakashi while taking a somewhat nasty wound. During the battle, Sasuke was beginning to awaken the Sharingan, which helped in dodging and attacking Haku. Even though the Sharingan helped Sasuke, Sai wasn't able to keep up with Haku's speed and was brought down. Right now, it was now between Sasuke and Haku. After battling it out, Haku put Sasuke on his knees, which Sasuke couldn't do anything since he was completely injured. The mist was able to blow a bit to let everyone see the finishing blow that Haku was going to give Sasuke. "It's over," muttered Zabuza as he stares at the ice dome. "Sasuke-kun," yelled Sakura. "Sasuke," thought Kakashi as he sees Sasuke's demise in front of him. Haku came out of the mirror, with Senbon needles in hand, while Sasuke watched in fear as Haku was about to stab him. It was then that everything changed. Right before Haku can even strike Sasuke, her arm that had the Senbon needles was stopped. This surprised everyone since some of the mist was still blinding, so no one can tell what happened. Haku and Sasuke looked where Haku's arm was caught by someone else's hand. Sasuke thought it was Sai, but then revealed that the person that caught Haku's hand was coming out of Haku's own ice mirror. Impossible, what kind of jutsu is this, to catch my arm from coming out of my own ice mirror? Haku thought. "It's nice to see you again, Mr. Tomboy," said the hooded figure before he strike Haku by blow him away. Haku was sent flying through the other side of the dome and through her own ice mirror, into the guardrail at the end of the side of the bridge. The sudden force that was felt when it blew the mist away to reveal another person wearing a hooded cloak and standing tall inside the ice dome. The hood that covered his face was blown off to reveal that it was Naruto. "Why you?" said Sasuke. "HMPH, now then emo boy, you've have debt to me which I intend to collect on, got it?" smirked Naruto. Naruto stood tall in front of Sasuke inside the dome, as he looked where he thrown Haku outside the dome. Haku struggled a bit, but got herself up on her 2 feet. As soon as Haku was on both her feet, the mist starting to cover the area again, which Haku thought it would be better for her to fight in. When Kakashi saw Naruto appear out of nowhere and saved Sasuke from death, he was very grateful, but also now curious to see on what he can do. Sakura and Tazuna were pleased to see Naruto appear in front of her, even though they knew him as Thomas. Zabuza was stunned to see someone was able to catch Haku, when he was at full speed. Of course, both Kakashi and Zabuza immediately brought back their attention to each other. Haku and Naruto stood in front of each other, while having a hard time looking through the thick mist. For Haku, Having the mist cover the area was a good thing since she can use the water on the bridge and mist to help her attack Naruto. Haku used her ice mirror jutsu again to try and get behind Naruto. Sasuke looked back as he saw the puddle of water that was in front of him freeze into ice. In an instant, Haku came out from behind Naruto, which Sasuke would have tried to warn him, but was too weak to say it fast. Haku had her senbon needles in front of her, ready to put down Naruto since she needed to end this battle quickly to help Zabuza. Right before Haku could even reach Naruto, Naruto instantly moved to the side so fast that Haku didn't notice it. She then saw Naruto caught her left hand which held the senbon needles with. Why are you trying to Tazuna? Why are you trying to stop a person who only wants to bring hope back to his people in this country? Naruto asked this question, as they both stood in the stance that they were in. It because I'm trying to help someone I cherish realize his dream. Answered Haku. Haku used this moment to try and kick Naruto's head by using her caught arm for support. Naruto was already a step ahead of her in that department, since he pulled Haku forward before she can begin her attack. He then used his right hand to throw her over his shoulder. Haku did a front flip, which he landed and then looked back at Naruto. Haku would have continued her attack, but was surprised when Naruto was now behind her without even her noticing it. Naruto held his arm out at Haku's face and unleashed a large amount of chakra shockwave. It sent her flying back near Sasuke, who was still too exhausted to move, just kneel. Haku landed about 5 meters away. Sasuke got one of his kunai and was prepared to throw it at her, but Naruto caught Sasuke's hand and put it away. The force of Naruto's attack was so strong, that the ice dome that Haku created, around Sasuke, and Naruto started to shatter since Haku couldn't hold it anymore. Along with Haku's mask, the dome breaking apart, as a result of Naruto's attacks. Haku stood up with the last of her strength, when Naruto calmly walked towards him. He was about 2 meters away when Naruto stopped advancing, which she wondered why. Naruto, finish me, I lost, so therefore, I'm nothing more than a broken shuriken or kunai. I lost my purpose in life. So please, finish me. Sadly said Haku. Naruto just looked at Haku calmly. He took a couple of moments before speaking up. Haku, why are you doing this? More importantly, why are you helping a man like Zabuza, someone who is trying to help his people? Asked Naruto. As Naruto was hearing about Haku's sad life story and why he was helping Zabuza, Kakashi and Zabuza were finishing up their fight. What's going on? I can't hear any type of fighting. Is the battle over? Did Naruto lose? I need to finish this fight now to find out. Thought Kakashi. Naruto had just finished hearing Haku's story, which in some specs, he can understand where Haku was coming from, especially knowing she comes from poverty and having her parents. Haku, even though you were lonely and had nothing to go by, that didn't mean you could have tried and find a path that you would have wanted. Zabuza might have helped you get back your purpose in life, but not in the expense of your heart, since I can tell that you never did try, and Sasuke and Sai. Stated Naruto. Thank you for your kind words, Naruto. You're right, I could have tried to find a new purpose, but I was young, and even though I joined Zabuza, it doesn't mean I don't regret it since I was given my reason to live. But now my purpose is finished, the only thing you can do for me now is me. Said Haku. I won't. I have rule in fighting an enemy, and that is that I never anyone with a pure or kind heart, plus I don't like to cute girls like you. Smirk Naruto. Haku was shocked that Naruto will not her. This made her happy and sad at the same time since she will, once again, live without a purpose. While Naruto was trying to convince Haku, Kakashi already trapped Zabuza with his ninpu summon, earth-tracking Fang no Jutsu. Kakashi summoned his dog summonings to capture Zabuza with the scent of his blood that was on Zabuza and his sword. Once Kakashi had Zabuza where he wanted, Kakashi prepared one of his most powerful jutsu, Reikiri, Lightning Blade. Naruto heard the static noise that was coming through the mist. He used his powers to sense that Kakashi was using some powerful jutsu against someone that he was facing, which he guessed was this Zabuza person. The moment Naruto took his eyes of Haku, Haku used her demonic ice mirror jutsu to create another ice mirror near her, which Naruto noticed. He was about to stop her, when he heard her say, "Thank you Naruto, but now, I can only do one last thing for Zabuza-sama." Naruto realized what she was planning to do. This is when he quickly acted. Kakashi was close to strike Zabuza down for good, when Haku's ice mirror appeared between them and came out throwing her senbon needles at the scroll, while acting as a living shield to protect Zabuza from death. In that moment, everyone was surprised by what happened next. In an instant, Naruto appeared out of Haku's ice mirror spinning clockwise, grabbing Haku, giving Zabuza a back heel kick, catching Kakashi's Reikiri with the back of his right hand to avoid being hit. Once Naruto appeared, Kakashi hit the ice mirror instead of Haku, while Zabuza was sent flying a few meters away, while losing his grip to his executioner sword, while Naruto landed kneeling, with Haku in his left arm, near the executioner sword. The speed that saved Haku and Zabuza was amazing, while Kakashi's attack hit the mirror and then the ground, creating a blast that blew the mist away from him. Sakura and Tazuna were finally able to see what was happening within the mist. They saw Kakashi getting up from a cracking crater hole in the bridge, while Zabuza was struggling to get up. Naruto held Haku near him as he looked at both Kakashi and Zabuza. Both of them looked at Naruto, who just came and stopped them in an instant. Naruto gently put Haku down, which she was stunned about how fast Naruto was, and looked at them saying, "Even though this is your fight, I won't let an innocent soul like Haku die," calmly speaking, while looking behind Zabuza. "Besides, we got company." Glaring behind Zabuza, everyone looked to see that hidden in the mist was Gato. Behind Gato were dozens of thugs with weapons around them. "Ooh, you're getting your kicked. How disappointing, Zabuza," said Gato. Zabuza questioned on what Gato was doing here, which he answered. Gato was going to betray Zabuza from the beginning, using missing nin to fight other nin, and once they were weakened, he will them with numbers of thugs and bandits. "Kakashi, I'm sorry, this fight is over. Now I have no reason to Tazuna, we have no reason to fight, we have no quarrel," stated Zabuza. Kakashi agreed since Zabuza was only fighting them for money. Gato looked at everyone and thought of how he is going to enjoying everyone here. Gato continue on how he going to Tazuna, as well as them, and destroy the bridge to destroy what's left of village's hope. But before he could say anything else, someone yelled out, "Oh, just die already." Everyone looked at Naruto as his right arm was in a thrown position. Gato looked confused, but looked closely in his chest. Gato saw something thin with a sharp end. "I recommend that you don't pull that out since that is the only thing keeping you alive for now. But in about 4 minutes, you're not gonna be around much longer," stated Naruto. Everyone was shocked on what happened. Naruto Gato with one of Haku's senbon needles that was slowly delaying his death. "Yo, you bastard, how dare you do this to me? I'll have your head," yelled Gato. "You're not the first to say that, and you'll not be the last." Naruto muttered the last part of his sentence. Gato ordered his thugs to every one of them, since he doesn't have much time left. Sasuke and Sai were luckily behind on their far left where Zabuza and Kakashi had their battle. Naruto was out in front ready to fight them with a look of confidence. All of the thugs were ready to run and take down Naruto, when a single arrow, out of nowhere, landed right in front of the thugs. Everyone wondered where it came from. Naruto just smirked then said, "Well, it's about time he showed up." And oh my, he brought friends. As he looked behind him, there behind Tazuna and Sakura was Inari with the villagers, armed with pans and stuff to defend their home. But as soon as the thugs saw this, they began to get nervous, but one of them reminds them that they had the advantage in weapons and stuff. This got them to dig out whatever courage they had, which the ones with bows got their arrows ready to fire. There was over half of the thugs, carrying arrow launchers and bows, which would count for less than 100 arrows being shot at all the villages. The thugs were ready to fire, which they were aiming to hit the villagers and everyone else. Kakashi was thinking on what to do since he doesn't have much chakra left. Zabuza was in worse shape, while Haku was exhausted. Sai and Sasuke were out. Kakashi thought that Sakura can protect the villagers, but she has no real physical strength for this. He watched as they fired all the arrows towards them. The villagers were in a panic since they were going to die. Everything seems to slow down for everyone. It was then, they all saw a miracle. Just as the arrows were halfway towards them, 100 or so crimson-covered bladed whips came out of nowhere and struck each arrow to block them, which it did. Everyone was stunned when the arrows were stopped like that. Everyone wondered where it came from, but then heard Naruto laughing. "Inari," Naruto looked back at Inari, "you've started taking up your father's mantle with this first step. Very good. However, you're still not strong enough to take on something like this, and so for today only, I'm going to give you special service." Naruto smirked as he prepared his own counter-attack. The thugs were ready, when Naruto picked up Zabuza's sword and wielded it with only one arm like an expert with a katana, except the size was different. Just then, Zabuza's sword began to glow with a crimson aura, which everyone thought on what was going on. Now then, I don't really like to show off, but in this case, I'm going to show you what I can do, said Naruto. Just then, a crimson glow stretched from Zabuza's sword into a separate sword but smaller. Naruto then dropped Zabuza's sword into the ground and completely focused on the crimson light that turned silver then to metal with a crimson glow outline. He then molded it artistically that constantly and shapely turned into another type of sword. Naruto continues to do this, showing the exotic designs in front of everyone. Everyone couldn't believe on what Naruto was doing. "Here boys, you better spread the word on what I'm about to do as well as the name that did this. My name is Naruto of the Thousand Blade, the master of Kinzuko no Ririsu, metal release." Naruto introduced himself. The new sword separated into more than 24 types of swords which he showed his control by spinning them around him. Kakashi and the others were shocked on what's going since now, Kakashi can feel Naruto's chakra which was just as strong as his, but he can also sense something else, something that is mixing with it. But what was more unbelievable was the fact that Naruto said he can wield and create metal. The next thing that happened was outstanding. The thugs were caught off guard when dozens and dozens of swords fell from the sky and landed inside the crowd of thugs, which freaked everyone. Naruto smirked, "Now boys, that was just for show, but I will go all out on you all if you don't leave since, if you don't I'll turn you all into Swiss cheese." As Naruto handled a sword that was now bigger than Zabuza's sword with ease. This got what Naruto wanted since all the thugs started to run away towards the boat that Gato used to bring them here. Naruto smirked as the thugs and bandits ran away from the bridge towards the boat. He turned around to smile at everyone, while sticking his sword into the bridge. Gato just stared at what Naruto just did. He was trapped in a circle of sword that pinned him down, while the other swords made openings for the thugs to leave. Gato was so angry, he was going to Naruto himself, but he started to feel his heart starting to slow down. Gato tried to fight it, but the death blow that Naruto gave him was just too much. With the last of his strength, Gato grabbed and pulled out one of the swords that Naruto created. He was ready to swing it like it was a buzzsaw. Right before Gato can throw the sword at Naruto, Naruto sensed on what Gato was about to do. Naruto just opened his hand, then made it to a fist. Gato was going to throw the sword, when the sword suddenly glows, then unleashed dozens of spikes from it that impaled Gato. Everyone saw how Gato was struck down by the sword that he was about to throw at Naruto. Everyone was scared at how Naruto would do it, as well as the glare and the intent that he was giving off. Naruto then wind down on the whole bloodlust thing and looked at the villager and said, "Let's just keep that incident as our little secret, alright?" After years of hard treatment from Gato, Gato was finally dead and the people of Nami no Kuni are free. 2 weeks later, after the events with Gato ended, everything seems to have gotten better. With Gato gone, Tazuna was able to complete the bridge with Naruto helping fixing on what he destroyed or dented with his swords, which they disappeared as soon as he touched them. Kakashi, Zabuza, Sai and Sasuke were in bed, being nursed back to health by Tsunami and Sakura, somewhat. After the battle on the bridge, everyone that was injured was quickly brought to Tazuna's house. Kakashi was placed in bed because of his use of the Sharingan. Zabuza was laid next to him since he not only got deep dog bites, but also his right arm was heavily injured because Kakashi's stabbed him with 2 kunais. Sai and Sasuke were in bedridden cause of the injuries they received from Haku, which Sai was out cold for a while. But for Sasuke, he didn't like what happened during the bridge battle. Knowing that Haku defeated both him and Sai didn't sit well with him, but took solace that he was able to awaken his Sharingan. Haku was alright, only received minor injuries by Naruto since he only used just blast waves against her. While during the whole recovery state, Naruto kept calling Haku a girl, while Haku said that he was a boy. Everyone thought that Naruto was nuts, not believing in Haku, until an incident happened between them. It was morning in the end of the first week after the battle. Naruto woke up early that day to freshen up and get to work. He went off to use the bathroom where he opens the door. Inside was something that proved that he was right. Coming out of the shower was Haku, but in a towel that covered her up, but still show off her body, which was curvy with smooth feminine legs. They both look at each other for a moment. "You still now want to be called a boy?" Naruto plainly asks Haku. With that, Haku screamed her head off in embarrassment, which Naruto then walked out of the bathroom and closed the door, before the projectiles that Haku created with her bloodline was able to hit him. Everyone came running towards the noise, to see Naruto close the bathroom door. He then walked away from the bathroom and passed them while saying, "I told you that he was a she." With a smirk. It was then that Zabuza explained on why Haku called herself a boy, to ensure that she was safe. He explained that if they ever met any rogue shinobi that got a kick by raping Kunoichi, Haku would call herself a boy to throw him off. Everyone agreed that it was a good idea, especially since the way she dressed made it hard for her to identify if she was a girl or boy. Currently, everyone was at the bridge saying their final goodbyes. Zabuza and Haku already left to go back to the Mizu no Kuni since news about the bloodline war ending with a new Mizukage in charge. Hopefully, with a new Mizukage, both Zabuza and Haku would be allowed to live back home. For Naruto, he was going to travel with Kakashi and his Genin team, Team 7, back to Konoha. With some heartwarming goodbyes, they all left, while Tazuna and his family thought about how thankfully they are for their help. So what are we going to name the bridge? Asked a villager. I believe we should call it the Thousand Blade Bridge, for the one who helped bring back our village's hope and courage. Tazuna said, since he remembered on what Naruto called himself back with the thugs. Plus with a bridge that was named after a person calling himself the Thousand Blades, would mean that he was incredibly strong. It's been a few weeks since Minato let Kakashi and his Genin team leave Konoha on their first C-rank mission. He did get a progress report from Kakashi once in a while during the time, but it wasn't anything serious. Just as Minato was about to call it a day and go and pick up his daughter from the academy, Minato heard his door knock. He allowed the person to come in to see his assistants open the door to Kakashi's summoning dog, Pakken. Hey Pakken, how are you? Is this another report from Kakashi? Greeted Minato. I'm doing great and yeah, this is in fact the final report to you since Kakashi said mission complete. This is the final progress report before Kakashi comes back to Konoha with his squad. Answered Pakken. Minato nodded, in which he got the scroll from Pakken, which Pakken puffed away. He opened the scroll to start reading its context. He read that Zabuza and Haku were now going back to Kiri, after hearing that the bloodline war was over and the Yondaime Mizukage was dead. He also read that Gato was during the bridge battle, as well as Sasuke awakening his Sharingan. When Minato read this, he was surprised on what had happened. But the last part of the scroll is what got him to go wide-eyed in disbelief when he read that the bridge battle's victory was from a boy that created metal swords. Sensei, during all this, I have tried to talk to the young boy. It was only after the bridge battle that I was able to get some answers from him. If what he said is true, then, Sensei, your son will be coming back home with us. Wrote Kakashi. Minato couldn't believe on what he read in Kakashi's letter. Minato thought it was a joke but knew that Kakashi doesn't joke around like that. He smiled with a bit of tears coming down his face. He rubbed the tears away and called for an Anbu agent. Hokage-sama, answered Anbu. Immediately call my wife to come here in my office, ordered Minato. The Anbu nodded in agreement and left to do his task. As Minato waited for his wife to come to his office, he couldn't help but wonder on how his son grew up these past 12 years. He also began to wonder on